mean, we didn't in the beginning. It never entered our heads that Georgina was actually missing. We didn't think that. We just thought, oh, she's staying with friends. She was in this relationship, on-off relationship. It wasn't going very well, and I just thought maybe she's gone to her friends and she's sort of lying low, and she doesn't want him to know. She doesn't want him to know where she is, and that's why she's not telling me, so I don't tell him. And so it was all a bit like, we didn't really take it that serious. We didn't, the first week, we just thought, oh, she's staying with someone. Then the boyfriend rang up, asked where she was, and I said I thought she was with you. And it was all of a sudden, then it's like, well, where is she then? And then we started like taking lists of all her contacts on Facebook, on social media, me and her sisters, and trying to contact these people. Have you seen Georgina? And when was the last time you saw her? And then we started phoning around hospitals, just in case she'd had an accident, and nobody knew where she was. But at the time, we never thought, oh, Georgina's missing, we need to phone the police. I thought just phoning and saying she hasn't been home would have been classed as wasting police time at that time, because didn't really know much about it. I mean, now you see all the time, if someone's missing, you can phone the police if they haven't been home. But at the time, I just thought, I can't phone the police and say, well, my daughter hasn't been home and she's 30 and she likes staying with friends. I thought she'd be livid if she comes back, and we've contacted the police and said she's missing. And sort of that's why, people always say, why did you take so long? And that is why, because,
That's
maybe
really
people,
interesting.
yeah. And that's why she liked to be with people. She'll go off sometimes for 3 or 4 days, and you might not hear from her, or you might hear from her all the time because she, but her phone wasn't working. There was all these little things that her phone wasn't working. So that's why she's not texting. Or she'd come back to stay with me after she'd been in this relationship, and she said, can I come and stay with you for a while? And I brought all her stuff back, and then all that week she was around at his house every single night. And I was sort of said to her, I thought you were splitting up. And so I might have been a bit annoyed, because I said I brought all your stuff back and everything and that, and I thought you were splitting up. I thought you were going to make a break from it, and try and get on with your life, and so I thought, oh, she's probably annoyed with me because I said that, so that's why she's not contacting me. She's trying to sort of play low as well.
So that was the last time you spoke to Georgina on that instance.
No, the last time I spoke to her was that morning on the 7th of March. I was going to work, and I come downstairs, and I just said, what are you doing? And she just said, the phone's not working. I found an old one, and she asked me for a couple of pounds, and I gave her that, and I was just leaving for work, and she just said, I'm going to the job centre, and I'll try and see if I can get the phone fixed or a SIM card. And I said, don't forget, your dad's getting you a cheap phone. He's already bought her one. And I think he'd arranged to phone her or meet her in the town that day. And then that was it. As I went down the stairs, love you, mummy, love you. And that was it. And, that was the last words.
Obviously, the last confirmed sighting, there's the second sighting that that you believe is Georgina, but the police are less sure. Wasn't there? She actually that was actually about the SIM card, wasn't it? That was confirmed?
When she went into Clifton Road store, the shop owner, he said that she'd asked about SIM cards, and where she'd actually taken the phone out of the bag was, people always say why she was getting all this stuff out. Well, when she was at my house, she took her phone apart, and she was saying this, it doesn't work properly and that. So then I gave her this old phone, and then she took the back off that and the SIM card off that. That didn't fit into her phone. And then she was quite agitated because she said, well, that doesn't fit and that. And then she just sort of scraped them all up and just bunged them all into this carrier bag. So that's, that's from when she got to the shop, he said she was picking sort of the SIM card out and the cover of the phone and getting them all out. And
she looks in great spirits. That's her just high-fiving the person behind the. And she looks in very good spirits in the CCTV.
Because people have said, oh, I think she committed suicide and that, or she didn't look suicidal in that CCTV footage, and did she? I think that's not the look and the mood and demeanor of somebody who was about to go off and do something to themselves. I think she seemed quite happy and chatty, and that's Georgina. You know, that's a typical Georgina. Um, she's friendly. She makes friends quite easy. She chats to people quite easily. You know, on the train, and she met a girl that on the train a few years ago, and they always stayed in contact, and they called themselves train buddies, and that's just how she was. You know, she would sort of be friendly and chatty to people.